one of the things, Claire, that's really struck me over the last 2 years is the importance that role that AWASH has in influencing national policy and the agenda. As I previously mentioned, the experience in AWASH is just phenomenal, and the work that we do in AWASH is really influential. As you know, that each member has an area that they have volunteered to take forward, and we don't always get a collective view within AWASH. We are 22 local authorities, and sometimes those views are not always as one. But as chair of AWASH, I know that you'll be able to, somehow get to an agreed set of principles that we then take forward into the various arenas. What I found invaluable over the last 2 years is that the regular catch-ups with Matt Jenkins from Welsh Government. And I know Matt has and I have had many conversations, and I've given some very frank feedback about some of the initiatives in Welsh Government, and I think that's really important for that to continue. A regular contact with Catherine in CIW, and with Paul and Sarah in ADSS. So that all those discussions, I think, are key to making sure that our voices, AWASH, and the voice that we're hearing as well from our staff is kind of fed into Welsh Government. So yeah, and I know you'll take that on board, I think.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, isn't it? I think it's been one of my opening statements in the last couple of weeks, Jill, continuously, is that I don't want to just rely on my own experiences up here in North Wales, because as you say, every local authority is unique. Every local authority has a slightly different take on each particular issue. If we look at the care home issues, for example, I might be carrying lots of voids in particular care homes, which might not be the case down in South Wales. And I think that is one of the challenges as the chair of AWASH, is to ensure that you get the views of all of the representatives, and that, as you say, and I quite like the way that you said it, actually, you get to some agreed principles. And I think, with 22 of us who are quite strong characters, getting that agreement isn't always going to be easy, and that's why I think it's, you've got big shoes to fill, because actually getting that agreement isn't always going to be that straightforward, but you have done so admirably over the last 2 years. I totally agree with everything you said. The role and responsibility that we have in terms of influencing policy decision, policy direction, is critical as AWASH. It's really important that we do feed in our views. It's as you say, it is the views of the workforce. It's not just our views as heads of service. And I think you captured it earlier on when you said that actually quite often some of the really good ideas come from the front line. And it's really important that, from my own experience, that actually we help Welsh Government sometimes realise that some of the suggested changes wouldn't work in practice, and some of the implications of what is being proposed, and how complex that would be to actually deliver. So yeah, I think the voice and role and function of AWASH is absolutely critical, and I just hope that I can do you proud as the outgoing chair.
I'm sure you will. I guess the other challenge to AWASH is we can't do everything.
No.
And that's certainly in the first year. That is also something that struck me. Is that that the number of requests through AWASH for representation on various groups, and I think there is something as well about kind of just screening those, about actually what impact is that going to make, because on a number of occasions I've gone back and said, okay, happy to consider that and put that to the group, and what will be the role? I need to be met with silence. So I think it is about being very clear about where we can influence, and where we can't really, and what are the priorities from ADSS and then from AWASH that we want to focus our time, because your time is really precious and we haven't got any to waste. Certainly, yeah, that's another thing that I think we all share in AWASH. So yeah, just another tip there.
Thank you. No, I thank you. That's really helpful, and I totally agree. You know, sometimes you see requests that come just even internally, don't you? And you think, oh gosh, that's what am I going to add? What am I going to be able to add to that? And I think that's the so what question will be a question I'll be asking. So what added benefit will we have to joining that? So yeah, thank you very much, Jill. Brilliant 2 years having you in the chair, and I do look forward to you being in the group with us and influencing the discussions and telling me and giving me some advice and tips from the sidelines, please.
Certainly, thank you.